Hello and welcome to this extra special episode of Fintech Daydreaming. We are here live from the Nordic Fintech Summit here in Helsinki, Vanha Satama, which is a classic place. We were also here last year, and we're really looking forward to an interesting day of meeting a lot of people working at fintechs, but we're also going to be on stage, but more on that later. But hey, most importantly, Paul, you're here with me. How are you today?
I'm good. Am I still allowed to do the stage dive?
Depends if we have audience, or actually it doesn't. So if there's no audience, it's going to be even better. So
you mean stage dive on the floor, right?
On the concrete. Yes.
Okay, maybe I'll avoid it for this time. But I'm looking forward to hosting the panel discussions and the full stage takeover we're doing, and interviewing all of our special guests during the day today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we're going to have some really interesting topics. You're going to be doing one on crypto. I'm going to be doing one on stablecoins and central bank digital currencies. So we're going to have a lot of fun today, and hopefully the audience will enjoy it as well. Looking forward to sharing with you, dear audience, of course, as well, when you see this live episode on air.
And of course, I mean, we cannot miss out the humor of the fact that I am hosting a panel discussion on cryptocurrency, the most non-cryptocurrent supporter on this planet. I think that's going to be fantastic. I mean, I'm going to be hitting that corner of this is scam.
And I think I'm going to be right after you on my stablecoin panel. So I'm going to ride on those jokes a little bit to the stablecoin conversation as well. So looking forward to that. But enough of the intros. We do have one thing we have to do, which we always do. We don't have a special guest for this episode. We're going to have many. But that means that we do have to do the joke, and it's going to be on you this time, Paul.
Ooh, actually, I've got a really, really bad joke that I've had in storage for, I think, last half a year. Yeah. And with everything else that's going on, I think it's perfect and spot on, actually. So here goes. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Regulator.
Regulator who?
Oh my, but there you go. That's the cryptocurrency industry for you. You can tell I don't like Bitcoin, right?
Very topical, by the way. Not only because you're hosting the panel on crypto today, but also because we had some interesting news about the US regulator going after Binance, and Binance saying that, no, we're not going to be regulated by you in the US. We're going to go elsewhere. So, again, very topical. But good, enough of the intros. I think we're going to go out there, we're going to go talk to people, we're going to get on stage, and we're going to have a lot of fun.
Yes. Follow us through the whole episode as we talk to an awful lot of interesting people.
See you there.
Welcome to Fintech Daydreaming, the podcast that dives into the world of banking technologies and the ever-changing landscape of fintech companies. We bring you real-life examples from global and local thought leaders, as well as experts working within the financial industry, and seek out the best stories from the front lines of financial services innovation, where dreams of industry pioneers meet reality. Hosted by Paul and Ville Sontu. This is Fintech Daydreaming.
We're still here at the Nordic Fintech Summit, and our first interview for today is with Janne, who is one of the founders of Fintech Farm and the host of the event today. So welcome, Janne. How are you today?
Thank you very much. I'm very good. Of course, it's been hectic times, but now things are rolling and all is good.
All right, good. So tell us a little bit about the event. I mean, we were here last year, but how are things progressing? How is this year's event coming out?
This year's event looks really good. A little bit bigger and better, as always. Now we are kind of back from the pandemic times to normal routines, and it's once again a good attendance from various kind of companies and from various regions.
So you would say that the Nordic fintech scene is live and kicking?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. I think we can see that. We're going to have a lot of interviews here later today, and we're going to be talking to a lot of those fintechs as well. Last year we did the live episode here. We didn't have a studio like this we have right now, which is of course a fantastic improvement. We're also the official podcasting sponsor or partner for this event. So thank you for having us, and really looking forward to an interesting event here. So what are you looking forward to most today?
Definitely connections. It's just great to meet old friends. It's always fun when you come to this kind of event. You realize that I actually know pretty many people. Like suddenly, like, hey, I know this guy, and she's from there, and yeah. But then definitely also meeting new people. That's I think the core.
So the fintechs in attendance, are they all Nordic, or do we have global companies here as well?
We do have global companies, but quite much Nordic, Baltic, European, but then also some bigger companies from India, US, everywhere.
All right, good. We'll be talking to many of those, and we'll be back soon.
Hey Connor, pleased to meet you again.
Nice to see you.
Yes. Before our listeners out there that maybe don't know who you are, maybe you want to share who are you?
Yeah, sure. Hi everybody. My name's Connor Blake. I head up business development for Personetics in EMEA.
Personetics. Now I know an awful lot about Personetics. I love what you guys are doing, but I'm sure everybody out there maybe don't know. So why don't you want to explain it quickly? Who's Personetics? What do you do?
So Personetics are around 12 years old. We focus 100% on financial services businesses, and we are the category or global category leader now in financial data-driven personalization for banks. And what that means is that we're helping banks to leverage their biggest asset, which is customer financial transactional data, to be able to talk and do things for the individual or for a small company or for wealth management customers.
Interesting. I mean, sitting in this space, having worked in this space for longer than I can even count now, I think, PFM, personal financial management, it's been the discussion all over the place, right? But you guys are putting that on steroids. You've gone beyond that. Maybe you want to just sort of, what is the unique value proposition that Personetics is bringing to the market compared to all of these other PFM players?
It's a great question. So PFM has really not been able to help customers engage with their banks, and there's several reasons for that. So PFM, which I see as an old-fashioned term now, but really PFM it tends to be more historic and backwards looking. It's not telling you what's coming up. It is also maybe it's got some simple budgeting that's going on in there, but it's not really engaging with the customers. So what we do is actually take the intelligence on the customers, and we're looking at not only what has happened in the past, but what's happening today, what's important for you today, and also importantly, what's coming up. And we make it really proactive and interactive. So we are able to keep that two-way dialogue, build trust, and expand relationships.
Fantastic. Sounds very, very relevant and interesting, considering we're focused these days so much on customer engagement, customer experience, customer centricity and everything else. Perfectly positioned, I feel. Now, we're here at the Nordic Fintech Summit in Helsinki. What do you think of the show so far today?
I think it's great. It's a fantastic location. It's been incredibly lucky with the beautiful sunny day.
Yep.
Had some really good interactions with the banks, so it's really nice to see and hear that the way that they're thinking about leveraging the intelligence on the customer's transactional data, but to do something meaningful to help build the financial resilience and financial well-being of their customers, actually across most of the banks and financial organisations in Finland, and actually wider than that across the Nordics. So it's been a great experience so far.
Fantastic. That's wonderful. Tell me, Connor, if our listeners are interested in Personetics, what you've explained so far, and want to know more, where can they get more information?
So you can go to personetics.com, and we have a full set of information there. Or also you can get in touch with me, and I'll be very happy to arrange a call and discuss in more detail what we do. We also have a lot of client testimonials. We've got a fantastic list of video links from our clients showing you exactly how they talk to their customers about how they're using Personetics, and some of it is fantastic. It's really grips the imagination, so I think I can share that as well.
Fantastic. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the summit.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Pål.
Thank you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, Reggie Rusan.
Hi, and who do you work for?
I work for a company called eSystems Nordics. We are an IT service provider, and we help fintech companies as well as other companies in the industry get high impact out of low-code tools.
Okay. And what would you describe as your unique value proposition?
Really quick delivery and creating impact with a great user experience. That is our unique proposition.
Sounds really good. We are here today at the Nordic Fintech Summit. So how do you like the event so far?
I like the event. I do find that I was thinking that they might have some other topics on the agenda today. Some really fantastic topics, though, around innovation.
Okay. Did you catch the panel that we did earlier today?
Unfortunately, I was manning our booth and I was not able to catch it.
So you had to do real work
Yes.
instead. Okay, fair enough. So what are you looking to get out of this summit?
Really to meet partners and potential customers that we can collaborate with, because what we find is that in the Nordic market, especially in Finland, the fintech market hasn't really gotten the big benefit out of some of the newer tools that can help them connect a lot of the dots and provide a great user experience.
All right. So if Finnish fintechs, Nordic fintechs, or anybody who's listening here today wants to know more about you, where would they find information?
Easily at eSystems.fi or eSystems.com. They can find us easily there. And what they'll find is really a good definition of how we help companies build great applications with good user experience, and then also how we integrate and automate their back-end processes to make them more operationally efficient.
Perfect. So with that being said, enjoy the rest of the summit.
Thank you.
Thank
you too.
Cheers.
Fantastic to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yes. So tell us, who are you?
I am Alistair Cotton. I am the co-founder and CEO of Integrated Finance. Integrated Finance is a infrastructure as a service platform for building fintech products, and we connect banks to fintechs as a service.
Sounds potentially like a UK company. You sound like you're from the UK.
I am from London, exactly. We're actually quite a multinational company. We have people dotted all over the world, including Turkey, but the head office is in London.
So let me just dig a little bit deeper. You said infrastructure for banks, connecting banks with fintechs. I mean, am I hearing embedded finance, open banking type stuff here, or
close? Embedded finance is probably the closest kind of mental model to think about.
Yeah.
What we do is, if you imagine, lots of banks have their own bespoke ways of talking to them, bespoke APIs or bespoke connection methods. We aggregate them all together to a single API so our customers can build on top of them. Within that, we offer basically ledger as a service to record all of those balances. And then we layer on top of that all of the kind of back-end workflows that you'll need to kind of power a service as a service so that someone doesn't need to build them themselves.
okay? And what do you see as being the sort of unique value proposition that you guys bring to the market compared to everybody else?
We operate an fully agnostic marketplace model.
Okay.
So it's entirely up to our customers which partners that they work with. We don't force them down any particular route. And kind of the unique thing about that is they're able to pick and choose and combine together the specific services that are right for them. Banking as a service and embedded finance is full of kind of quite bespoke, unique edge cases.
Yep.
And that means parceling all of these different services together, and we just help them do it in one place rather than many places.
Fantastic. We are here today at the Nordic Fintech Summit in Helsinki. What do you think of the event so far today?
It's incredibly sunny, firstly.
Yeah.
Which we weren't expecting. Much sunnier than London when we took off from Stansted. So fantastic event. Really kind of nice, close together, kind of good speaking lineup, and all of the people that we've spoken to have either been, on the partner side, someone that we can progress with, or on the customer side, someone that's interested in our service. So far, brilliant.
Fantastic. I mean, you're a sponsor here. You've got a nice stand out there and everything else. What are you hoping to get out of today?
On both sides, right? So we're a marketplace. We want to meet new partners in the Nordics region because we want to expand here geographically. And on the customer side, we're always interested in new use cases. Obviously, every geography kind of looks at things slightly differently.
Yep.
We power certain use cases in the UK and Europe, and we're after kind of customers building interesting things in the Nordics, hoping to kind of help them on that journey.
Fantastic. So to all of the fintechs and banks out here in the Nordics, how can they find out more? How can they get in contact with you?
We have, obviously the stand is full with people from our company, so you can go and talk to us. Ideally, you come and talk to us. We're nice. We like face-to-face meetings. If not, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Twitter, all the usual places. Search Integrated Finance and reach out.
Fantastic. Pleasure talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
It's fantastic to see you here at the Nordic Fintech Summit.
Likewise.
Yes, and you are
My name is Winkel, Danish, working for Ford Machine, covering the Nordic region from a sales perspective.
Fantastic. Tell me a little bit more about Thought Machine. Who are Thought Machine? What do they do?
Yeah, Ford Machine is founded back in 2014 with people who used to work for Google. They realized that the technology and the way of developing software could be taken into the banking industry as well, because they felt there was a gap to relieve the banks from the legacy systems. So what we are basically doing is that we focus on a certain area, which is the back office. That means where the bank used to service their end clients in terms of current account deposits, savings, loans, stuff like that. And we limit our focus on that, at least for the time being, and actually try to give the banks an opportunity to have a more flexible, scalable, cloud-native, API-only, flexible, modern technology on which they can start to transform, as I said earlier, from the legacy systems into a modern technology. In addition to that, what we also give them is an enormous flexibility. We deliver our platform, our solution, but we don't demand the clients to follow it, to develop their products and their strategy on our way. They could do it on their own because of the flexibility in the system.
Fantastic.
So that's in very short.
That's very short and very concise. And I mean, core banking platforms. Some would say that whole market is saturated. There's so many players there. So what is the unique value proposition really that Thought Machine delivers? What makes you stand out from everybody else?
I touched briefly on it, because if you go to, how to say, some of the incumbent vendors, they have enormous functionality in the systems. They have huge complex systems, which is very cumbersome, risk, and take a long time to implement. Where we deliver, as I said, what we call a headless core. We don't pretend to do more than what we do, but we do it very well. And instead of having the customers to follow our roadmap, they can follow their roadmap, meaning they take ownership and deliver to their customer as they want. So time to market is shorter, flexibility, ownership of the system is entirely with the customers compared to many of the other existing vendors.
I like that. That's a fantastically differentiating capability there that you're outlining. We're here at the Nordic Fintech Summit in Helsinki. What do you think to the summit this year?
I think it's great. I have been to a few of those over the years, but this one in particular I like, because I think that yes, there is a lot of vendors, but there is also a lot of potential clients. People you have spoken to in the past in other companies, but also meeting new people to understand what is their pain points, how can we support not only the banks, but also, as I said, what Ford Machine is offering is a limited part of what a bank need to have an end-to-end front to back. So it's not only about selling software to banks or other fintechs, it's also to see how can you work with other vendors in order to complete your own offering, so you can build a kind of ecosystem that you can sell, maybe not so much to the bigger banks, but especially to the smaller banks and neobanks, fintechs and so on. So you get the best from both worlds, so to say.
Love it. Okay, if our listeners want to know more, where can they find out more information about you or Thought Machine?
They can of course go into my LinkedIn profile. There is my phone number, email. They can also go into our webpage, put in they want to be contacted. They can request a demo, presentation, whatever. So please feel free, contact anyway, and we will be there to follow up.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm sitting here with Chris from Nordic Fintech Magazine. So tell us, what is Nordic Fintech Magazine and what are you doing here at the Nordic Fintech Summit?
Right, so we're a media company, and our purpose is basically to provide a platform for exposure for what Nordic Fintech is basically doing. We notice that there's a lot of fantastic innovation across the whole Nordic region and the Baltics. And I think that the entrepreneurs and the dreamers and the people that are transforming the industry from within deserve to have a platform to share their thought leadership, their ideas, and really what's coming up in the industry, because they're the ones that are really developing the the leading edge services that we'll see transform things in the next 5 years.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And full disclosure, you're sharing the media room here with us today, so we decided to have a chat with our neighbor here.
Yes, absolutely.
So we're both covering this from our own angles. But what are you looking forward to most today in this event?
Well, I think we're really looking forward to understanding more what's happening in the Finnish ecosystem. This is our first time here. We've been hearing some fantastic things from coming out of Finland and Helsinki. So we're here keen to meet Finnish startups, Finnish banks, and really understand what's the secret sauce that is driving innovation in Finland and how they contribute to the overall Nordic fintech ecosystem.
That's fantastic. Looking forward to an interesting day with you here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cheers.
Thanks. All right.
Hello, pleased to meet you.
Hello, Paul. Good to meet you too.
Yes.
Thanks
so
for
tell
the
everybody, who are you?
Okay, well, I'm Jonas Qvarfordt and based in Stockholm, Sweden. And
Okay.
I'm the new sales director for Backbase in the Nordics, basically. So it's my job to launch this product to this market. So that's what I'm doing.
Sales director for the Nordics for
Correct.
Backbase.
Correct.
So tell us, who's Backbase?
Well, Backbase is a Dutch company that really helps banks create seamless journeys around their customers, right? So if you think about all the touch points that you have with customers in all your different channels, be it web, be it mobile, be it in office or on the help desk, that's really where we come in and help our customers to orchestrate journeys around the customer that the customers love and that also empowers the employees to really help them out doing what they are supposed to be doing, right?
Fantastic. I mean, we're all focused on the fact that banking is supposed to be about customer journeys, customer centricity, focus on the customers and those sort of things. But I'm wondering that there's a lot in this space.
Yes, there is.
So what is the unique value proposition that Backbase brings to the market? I mean, why Backbase?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. And really what we offer banks, because you all know what the problem is that we're trying to fix, right?
Yeah.
We live with different silos from different channels, different functions that have a hard time to meet. There is a lot of legacy software that really has a hard time to communicate with each other, right? There is a lot of technical debt to be dealt with among the banks. So those are truly the problems that we address by providing, so to say, a two-speed architecture, putting the engagement layer on top of these systems of record being the core banking systems, right? This is where you keep your accounts, this is where you do your transactions and so on. But really on top of that, that's where we provide a layer that is loosely coupled to the core, but that really helps you innovate at a faster pace than you could do before. So taking products out to the market faster, being able to service your customers, seeing the same things as they do, addressing their issues in the moment of truth, right, when they call you to get help. So that's really what I think makes us unique in this.
So is your focus predominantly on the large banks, or is it also on the fintechs and small startups?
Yeah, I would say that we don't have something for everyone, right? But we have a flavor that I think could suit most the financial institutions. From the point of view that if you look at, for example, a credit union or something like that, right? They might want to be just going straight into more kind of a SaaS offering where you just put in your logo and you do your color theming, and that's pretty much it, right? Nice and easy, quick and fast. Versus a more mature bank in a more market like the Nordics, like a tier 1 bank here, they want to do more of building themselves, right? They want to change things and do it their way. So the platform caters for both those two use cases. So it's adopt and build and everything in between.
Fantastic. I think there's probably going to be a lot of our listeners out there that are finding this very interesting.
I hope so.
If they want to know more and want to get in contact with you, how can they find out more?
You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me everywhere, basically. But Jonas Qvarfordt, just connect with me, reach out, and I'll make sure that we get an appointment set up. Okay?
Fantastic. Lastly, we are here at the Nordic Fintech Forum in Helsinki. What do you think of it so far?
I think it's been fantastic so far. I mean, first of all, it's Finland, and Finland always delivers, right? You really get what you get what it says on the package. That's what you get, basically. So I think they have really delivered really good, interesting keynotes. I think they have delivered really a good audience, right? It's all relevant people that really has relevant issues that we can help them with. So I think it's been great so far.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Have a good day.
And you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So, who are you?
I'm Otto Fazlic. I'm the CCO at Neonomics.
Okay. And what does Neonomics do?
Well, we're an open banking company that specializes in payments and data services. We're spread across the Nordics, and we're very much focused on delivering a sort of innovative approach to enabling payments and financial services through open banking.
All right. And what's your unique value proposition?
Well, the way that we see our unique value proposition is that we were among the first in the industry to actually start looking at PSD2, looking at these kind of open banking APIs. And so what we've really focused on is kind of a no legacy approach to PSD2. So we're purely focused on open banking and delivering services that are very customer driven. So we work with customers across the Nordics that are looking for tailor-made solutions for how to actually get value out of the open banking APIs that we have access to, and that's kind of how we've built our focus. So it's very customer driven.
All right, sounds good. So we're here in Helsinki at the Nordic Fintech Summit today. How do you find the event so far?
It's hot. It's a hot event. It's both temperature and with the interactions. I think it's a great event. A lot of interesting conversations already had. Speaking about embedded finance and thinking about kind of the big opportunity and how collaboration works. I think it's been fantastic to see the interactions between the various stakeholders. Both, there's lots of big banks here, lots of fintech players, big and small, and I think it just shows the collaborative nature of the Nordics sort of payments and financial services community.
So once the hot day is over and you're walking out of here, so what do you expect to get out of this summit?
Well, I think for us, it's we look at Helsinki particularly as a super important market for us, and we have been operating here for just over a year and a half, and our main aim was to get more people to understand who we are, what we're doing, who we work with, the fact that we have great customers already in the country, and then also to expand that profile even further with even more great customers.
Okay, so if our listeners want to know more about you guys, how do they find you?
We're Neonomics.io is where we're at. We're on LinkedIn, we're on Instagram as well, so check us out.
All right, good to have you here.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks for having me.
Fantastic to meet you.
Likewise.
Tell me, who are you?
Joakim Botha, one of the co-founders at Eliq, Swedish energy tech company.
Swedish energy tech company. Explore that a little bit further. Tell me, what's your unique value proposition? What do you do?
Yeah, so we offer a platform that focusing on open energy data. We've been working for many years, crunching energy data from smart meters, helping European homes to understand how they can optimize their consumption and reduce their footprint and their energy costs.
Fantastic. So you've got a client base across the whole of Europe.
Yep. Well, the main markets starting out of Nordic, but now we're also big in UK, France, Benelux, obviously Finland as well.
Fantastic. Now we are here today at the Nordic Fintech Summit in Helsinki. What do you think of the show so far?
Awesome. Really interesting to meet so many innovators within the banking sector. Eliq has been working with utilities for many years, helping them to create great products. Mm-hmm. Now we see, interestingly enough, there is no legislation saying that utilities need to reduce their customers' consumption, but there are for banks increasing ESG needs. So we're now partnering up with banks, helping them to understand how efficient their customers are and giving them the tools to improve, as we see the European Central Bank are increasing those kind of requirements.
Fantastic. Now, if our listeners find what you've just said really interesting, and I hope they do, because we all want to save money on electricity, right? How can they find out more?
Well, find our webpage, eliq.io, or find us on LinkedIn. I guess that is the best places online.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Who are you?
I'm Asya, co-founder of Web3 Builders.
Okay, so what do you do?
We onboard individuals and companies onto Web3 and try to help people understand the emerging technologies.
Okay, so given the Web3 space being a little bit maybe unknown for many people, so what is the unique value proposition of your company?
We want to help individuals and professionals to succeed in the Web3 space, to understand the main concepts and philosophy, and to find the best way how they can implement technologies in their daily life or in the business.
Okay, that's a big challenge, I would think, but I'm looking forward to hearing more about what you do. Today we are here at the Nordic Fintech Summit. How do you find the event so far?
Oh, that's amazing and great. I'm really happy that in Helsinki we have so amazing, great international conferences where you can network with amazing people from different companies, bank companies, like main fintech sector. I think it's very important to have such astonishing happening in the city.
Yeah, it's really is. Some of our guests have been saying that it's quite hot, literally outside and inside. But once the event is over and we walk out of here, what do you expect to get out of this summit this year?
Definitely some inspirations, because I think there is a great chance for Web3 to be implemented in fintech, and I'm like watching the trends and trying to understand what is really can be unique and applicable for fintech from the Web3.
So if our listeners want to know more about what you do and how to get in touch, so where can they find you?
The better way, go on LinkedIn, search Google, just like find Asya, Kruglova, and our Web3 builders. We will be bringing also Aurora conference to Helsinki this May, late May, beginning of June, and everyone can be very welcomed to find the proper things there related to Web3 and also DeFi and FinTech.
All right, a lot of good buzzwords there. Thank you for being a guest.
Thank you.
Thank you
for hosting.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, who are you?
Who am I? I am Stefan Eriksson, actually born and bred on the Åland Islands. Had done a couple of trips abroad, studied abroad. Actually returned back to the Åland Islands about 15-20 years ago. When I was a young boy, I actually decided I drew a big circle around the Åland Islands. We live outside, so I ended up in the States. And now, I guess life takes its turn. Now I live 200 meters from my mom.
All right. So Åland brings to my mind potato chips. But who do you work for?
I work for a company called Crosskey. And Crosskey is a 19-year-old company, but we have 100-year-old roots. We're actually 100% fully owned by Ålandsbanken. And Ålandsbanken has a presence in Finland and Sweden, and that's also what we do. We pretty much provide all the financial services that Ålandsbanken provides to their customers. So we have capital markets, we have core banking solutions, and we have card issuing systems.
All right. And what is your unique value proposition?
Actually, there is a couple of these things, and I think that one thing actually that differentiates us from other players is that we are based on Åland, and that means also that maybe there is not so many opportunities to move around, so to say. So we have people that know payments, that actually know what a payment is. Actually, they have been in the business for 30, 40 years. So I actually say that, if you look at this a little bit like how it's traditionally done, you maybe have some kind of financial consultancy, KPMG, Ernst & Young, etc. That's very expensive analysis, that kind of stuff. And then you have somebody producing the CD, the software actually implementing, and then you have somebody actually doing the implementation. We can do everything from start to beginning. So we are a complete provider in that sense, and we can guide our customers also, not only technically, we just don't throw a bunch of code in their lap. We can actually tell them about the processes, the KYC, AML, and the implications of it.
All right, that makes a lot of sense. So we are here at the Nordic Fintech Summit today. How have you found the event so far?
I was actually interviewed by them last year, and I watched it. First of all, when you see yourself and you listen to yourself, it's like maybe you should be quiet. But anyway, I think it's a fantastic job they have done. I remember the first time, maybe I forget if it's 6 or 7 years ago. It was maybe 50, 100 people and that kind of stuff, and what they have evolved into is amazing. I think also this is the best venue as a place that I have ever participated in. I've done this type of activities for a number of years, and also I would say this is if you look in Sweden, for example, you have a bunch, like 4 or 5 different type of events and so on, but in Finland this is pretty much, I would say, the event. And it's not like when you sell core banking or a card system for capital market. I don't expect to sell 5 systems today, but it's you meet people in this financial industry, and you get connections and so on, and you build relationships. So I think it's bang for the bucks.
I can certainly say that this is the nicest studio that we've ever had as Fintech Daydreaming, so I really agree on the venue part. But once they close the doors here and you walk out, what do you expect to get out of this event?
Like I said a little bit earlier, maybe went ahead of you. It's not like I don't expect that we have sold 5 banking systems. because it's long processes. It takes years, and you have migration projects and so on. And for us, it is a little bit more of a branding. For example, if there's an RFP coming out, I think today we will actually be contacted to participate. That was not the case for 5, 6, 7 years ago. So it's more to meet customers, potential partners, and opportunities and so on. So I guess that's my expectation is just to show our presence in Finland, basically.
All right. So if people want to know more about Crosskey, how can they find and be in touch with you?
Our webpage, and I have a nickname which I forced on my kids when they were young. So Strong Steph, so they could call Stefan Eriksson at Crosskey. I'm actually on the webpage.
All right.
So it's just give a call, and we can provide you with whatever you need.
Perfect. Thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
Thank you.
Wow, we've got to the end of another one.
Yeah, finally.
It has. What do you mean finally? It's been fantastic. I mean, it's really cool to actually have a conference badge that says podcast host and stage host, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we rocked it today, man.
We did. It was a long day, but so much good experiences. We had some fantastic discussions and interviews right here on this couch and also on the stage. So we're gonna see how the episode is gonna be, but the experience has been absolutely fantastic.
I didn't get to do my stage dive though.
No. Yeah.
All of that talk of a stage dive, and I didn't get it.
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of hoping that you would do it to the floor, but let's see. We get what we get.
We did threaten the audience with a stage dive.
Yeah, we did. We got some response from the audience as well, so there was kind of a little bit something going on there, but we didn't end up doing it, so maybe that's for the better.
Probably.
But so what do you think? I mean, we were here last year. Last year, the theme seemed to be that every other booth that we saw was basically core banking in one form or another, cloud or not cloud-based. But this year, not so much about core banking. So what do you think is the main theme from your perspective this year?
It's not that clear. It's not as clear cut as it was last year. Like you said, last year it felt like every single booth was a cloud core banking of one variety or another. If I was to summarize it, I think this year it has been very much around aggregation, API aggregation. Open banking aggregation, and I'm partially, I would say, almost disappointed.
Okay.
Wow. And perplexed by what we've seen, and I think I would have expected something else, but maybe it's a regional thing. I mean, what do you think?
I agree, because coming into the summit today, I was half expecting that every other booth would be about embedded finance, banking as a service, the things that we're seeing right now happening in the global market. And we've been talking about this with several guests in our episodes as well. So again, I was really expecting to see embedded finance, but it's really not there. I mean, we have some players here, of course, that are working in that space, but it's not like a mainstream theme. However, if you go to global conferences, other places in Europe, it is very much a mainstream thing. But so perhaps it is a regional thing. Maybe it's because of the banking market is the way it is in the Nordics. It's difficult to find space for those types of players.
But then at the same time, a lot of the vendors that are here with stools or stands, they're not all Nordic vendors.
No. So that's another thing. The portion of just purely Nordic vendors is very small.
Yeah.
So all of the companies that we talk to practically are companies that either are offering services globally or are indeed coming outside of Europe even into this event. So that's an interesting trend as well.
Yeah. But overall, what did you think about the summit this year?
It was fantastic. Like I think I said this a couple of times in the interviews already, the studio that we have here is just absolutely fantastic. I love the exposed brick wall. Yeah. We got the logo up there, and we have a nice studio here. So thank you very much for the Nordic Fintech Summit and the Fintech Farm Finland for giving us this opportunity to be the partner podcast for this event, and all the nice facilities and service that we've had here. So it's been great.
I agree. I think it's been It's been fantastic. It feels more energetic and larger than it did last year. They've really it's growing. It is getting more energetic. It's getting more focused. The focus around what is the key trends in the industry here in the Nordics or whatever is not down to Fintech Farm, but what they've done here, the way that it's growing, I'm really looking forward to next year.
Yeah, let's hope we'll be back next year. We will be in one way or the other,
yes.
So let's see how it works out. But that being said, I think it's time to close the episode today.
Unfortunately, yes. When we're having fun, time does fly.
Time really does fly.
Yes.
It did on stage as well. I think we managed, and this time around we have to say it for this entire episode, which has been recorded live here at the Nordic Fintech Summit. So with that being said, please like, subscribe, the usual stuff. Write us a review, it really helps, and keep on listening. We still have a few episodes to go this season, and we're really looking forward to the next episode with you guys. This has been Fintech Daydreaming.
This is Fintech Daydreaming.
Tell us, Janne, how was it today?
It's been a brilliant day, kind of exhausting, but also very awesome, meeting so many new people, having fun, learning new things, and now also a bit more relaxed and looking forward. I think we're only like halfway there.
Only halfway there?
Yeah.
So what was like the highlight of today for you?
There were a few quite interesting panel discussions,
okay,
both with you and Ville, and then also the banking profitability panel. I think they were all pretty cool. But then I think also generally the networking and the atmosphere and the burning sun was also something that.
Of course, and I mean it was a fantastic show all across, and now we're here at the after party.
Yeah.
So where are we?
So we're at Wallis. Classic Finnish karaoke bar owned by world famous Kimi Räikkönen.
So this is the Kimi Räikkönen bar?
Yeah.
Does that mean we're all going to sing tonight?
Me?
Are you going to sing tonight?
Yeah, of course.
You are going to sing?
Yeah.
What's going to be your song of choice?
Probably going with Wicked Game or Wind of Change.
Wind of Change, I love it,
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
so,
classic.
For next year, next year we're going to make it even better.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
Absolutely. We need more Fintech Daydreaming, airtime, bit more people, even more cocktails.
Yeah.
And it's hard to improve when it's pretty good, but there's always things you can spice up.
Now we Ville and I had an interesting discussion. We recorded a end segment where we looked at the trends of last year versus the trends of this year.
Yeah.
Right? And we said the trends of last year, when we looked at the fintechs and companies that were set up, with booths, it was a very high proportion of core banking providers.
Yeah.
This year it wasn't. So the question was around, what is the trend we saw this year from fintechs in the Nordics or at the summit? I mean, what's your feeling? What did you see as being the major trend this year of the fintechs?
Really hard to say, like directly. I don't think core banking is going out of fashion in a long time with a traditional bank. It's a never-ending project.
Yeah.
I think open banking definitely is. Even though we have talked about it for many years, I think it's still in the early phase. It's going to be visible and growing in the coming years, and also I think compliance RegTech, that's something that is playing more and more like a key role.
I think I'd agree with you on that. I mean, our synopsis from this year was that it was very much around open banking and aggregation.
Yes.
API aggregation is coming back into a major focus. I did not see a big focus around RegTech or regulatory compliance. I mean, we did a whole stage takeover, Ville and I, around trust. And there was an awful lot there around regulations and how regulations play into trust. But I think, personally, I think that we're still going to see a growth of RegTech and a growth of regulation, particularly around cryptocurrencies, digital currencies, etc. But you know, I agree with you completely, right? API aggregation, we're back to that. What do you think about the growth of generative AI? Do you think that next year we're going to see a boom here at the Fintech Summit around AI, generative AI, and that area?
Yeah, I think we can already next year see some like practical use cases. Now, obviously, the super hype has been only around for a couple of months, and it's still like on a quite shallow level, like very much hype. But I think already next year some of the companies are having more stuff on production on generative AI and stuff like ChatGPT.
Fantastic. All I will say, fantastic summit today. I think you did an outstanding job. You should be really proud of it.
Thank you very much.
I look forward to an even better event next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right?
Yeah,
Thank you,
very
my
much
friend.
for joining.